Despite the huge distance from the border, Gdansk, just like dozens of other cities, teemed with the willingness to help the refugees. It was the same everywhere, from murals to practical help and shelter. Every gesture was important, because there was no place that Ukrainian families wouldn't get to. Lost and terrified by the cruelty Russians put them through. Polish side of war. Part 4. Life after life. Plans? Stay here until the war is over? Find some jobs, send the children to school, to preschool? Stay here because there's no other place to go? Do you feel fine here? Without shelling, we feel much safer. Children aren't afraid anymore. At least they were able to sleep well. What do you miss the most? Our Kharkiv, our city, and peace in Ukraine. We want peace in the whole world really badly, without any shooting. It's terrifying. Right now, we're at a hostel at a scout's house. It's a reception point of the Voivodeship office. This is a place for registration for the refugees of the war with Ukraine. We accept people who come straight from the border or in transit from Warsaw, Krakow, and need a place to stay right away. Sometimes it's 3:39 a.m. Someone comes in and needs a place for the night for 7 people. For example, 2 women and 5 children. The amount of terrible stories that people were telling us was so huge. The volunteers, soldiers, paramedics who help us here. 30-year-old men who were just standing here and crying. We were standing on the stairs because we needed a break because these stories were so poignant. It was very difficult to deal with that. Ukrainians who worked in Poland, especially at the beginning of the war, because now they've all come back, were taking their wives and kids from the border and bringing them here. They were saying their goodbyes next to us, and then they were returning to war. It was not known if they'd see each other again. And this is the big responsibility, that someone entrusts you his whole family and hopes that it will be fine. In the beginning, when I first brought along with the soldiers a family to a sports hall, my heart broke. Now I understand that we take these people and volunteers, help them further, to find the next flat. And sometimes it's really better to go from the border and sleep at the sports hall one night, even if there are 200 people lying on fold-out beds right next to you. But there's perspective that the next day someone will find them a flat or a place in a hotel. Also, often people are surprised that Ukrainians want to send their children to school fast. Actually, it's about giving these children a substitute for normality. It shouldn't come as a surprise that people want to go to work, to school. Because it's not necessary for them to sit 24 hours a day in this sports hall, wondering if their husband is still alive, if their dad is still alive. You have to give a bit of normality, a bit of routine, a bit of hope that it will be better, that they will be able to come back. And we will take them, we will take care of them, and we will do everything in our power so that they can be here as long as possible. Right now, we have about 40 people in here, and there have been over 500 people in total. There are a lot of this kind of points in Gdynia. There are no hard things, you know? I like talking to people. It's not hard for me. The best thing is that you see a person who is totally lost. It's not the best that he's lost. The best is that you can come up, tell him what he needs to do, what are the perspectives, and that everything will be fine. The children are playing, so they feel quite comfortable here. Some of them don't even want to go because they like it in here. We've got medical care, a doctor who comes and examines all the people. We have volunteers who are nurses who also come and help. I help because I went through my war. I don't know if you remember. It lasted 10 years, we were bombarded, people were taken, a lot of things were happening. And I know how these people here are feeling. I'm with these people with all my heart. They just had a few minutes, a few hours to pack themselves, to leave everything. Because in some sick imagination, in a sick mind, was born the idea, I don't know why, to destroy this country and murder all of them. I've never seen things like that before I came here and on my way here. These volunteers, these people who would bring us here, everything. If there was a need, if refugees wanted a rocket, I bet it would take 20 minutes to find 2, 3 rockets. It's so important for them that they can fight here and be sure that their families are being taken care of and are safe. Fight there. Fight, show everything you can and we are with you. And everything we can do to make you sure that we will take care of your families.
Он от теплоты меняется, смотри. У тебе був фіолетовий, потім стане розовий. І так все всіма, а чорного нема. А якщо потім
My name is Maxim. I'm 6 years old. I go to the kindergarten courses. And here, I'm playing with my friends and I'm building a fort with them. How long have you been here? I don't know. What do you miss the most? I miss my beloved one. I've fallen in love. You've fallen in love? You miss your girlfriend? Yes. And she doesn't miss me, because I love her, but she doesn't love me. And what do you miss the most from home? Dad. A lot of Polish families decided to take refugees under their roof. And not really. New guests were treated as new family members. We are in Osowa. This is Osowa, Poland, Europe. Poland, Europe, exactly. We were sure that we wanted to help, that we wanted to take someone from Ukraine who needs help. There was no doubt. It's there. You feel it. Or you do it for some reasons, or you don't do it at all. I think that there are no people who would be against. And if there are, it's really just a promille. We don't feel any discomfort, any problems that there are more people in the house. These are wonderful women. No, we didn't expect it. We didn't expect anything. After this nightmare we've been through in Ukraine, we just came to a completely different world. I would especially like to thank Anne and Christopher, the owners of this house. They take care of us, feed us. They take care of us like their own kids. They take care of us as if we were their own family. I don't really talk. Sometimes I just say good morning. It's so normal. Dad has more time since Miss Janina is helping with the gardening. Although I thought that she should just be sitting and, I don't know, resting. Yes. What have you painted lately? I painted a Ukrainian flag with a heart in the middle. But at first I wanted to draw Putin, who ended up in the garbage, because someone threw him out of the window from a 20-foot skyscraper. But I ended up drawing this flag, and below I wrote, Putin is a moron, and above it I wrote, Putin is a bastard. And why? Because in my opinion, it's a total stupidity what he's doing now. Maybe he'd actually fall from a helicopter to the volcano. It would be more interesting. To the volcano, Putin? No. Yes. Day by day, more and more places were created to help Ukrainian refugees. Ukrainians could also find employment in many local companies, which they eagerly did, because none of them wanted to vegetate idly in their new houses. What do? I run at this point a big company with diet catering, and I decided to help, because in January this year we got a new production plant. So production capacities were still quite big. I went to Medica, went to Przemysl, to Warsaw. I made a few phone calls and that's how it started. 2 serious talks with 2 American organizations in Przemysl and another talk in Warsaw, which resulted in this contract for buns. Every day 5,000 buns leave our production. I know the needs are much greater, so we probably aren't the only producer. But every day, 7 days a week, so in a month it's 150,000 buns. Sandwiches are given from us. I hired 16 new people, and these are all refugees who are staying within our town, where our production is, so they have work very close. These people are motivated because they know they work on behalf of their compatriots. I am absolutely prepared that if the conflict lasts a few more months, to continue working and helping in this way. For 5 weeks, we functioned mostly as a distribution and information point. From the beginning until this moment, we basically rely on the help from private individuals who just want to be involved, on their own will. Right now, we focus mostly on school supplies, on books, on literature in Ukrainian or Polish Ukrainian. A good example of what we managed to get are these books on my right. Now here is our home, and Kitty Koty in Ukrainian. On one hand, I think that everybody in our position would do the same and become engaged into this help. On the other hand, I think that Poles have something that only in extreme situations, they show their true nature and empathy they've got inside. One evening, a girl with 2 kids came. She was barely standing, barely walking. She's been 12 days on the move. She was fleeing Kharkiv. She wasn't even able to talk with us, to tell us what she wants, where she needs to go. She just let to be taken care of. And for me, probably the most tragic thing in all of this is that a lot of people like her may get hurt because they have no strength to defend themselves. I'm the coordinator of this point, but the point itself and the whole team who works on acceptance of the refugees who come from Ukraine, informing them what they can get in Gdansk and directing to shelters. Provision of lodging, food, safety, before taking next steps and decisions about what they want to do next. The change in me is probably that I don't listen to comments regarding our country's history. That's because I think it's a moment where certain things have to be closed and history has to be written anew for our children. But seeing these elderly people, women, children, who come tired, scared, confused, this is just a sense of duty to take care of them. So these men who stayed there could protect their country, not worrying about their families. I came because I was scared not about my own life, but for my children's lives. To avoid psychological trauma, because this is far more important than any job and these assets we have. Poles welcome us really well. They give us help that we need, and even sometimes that we don't need. Because there's no need to pamper Ukrainians either. I really like it here, but because it's now calmer in Zhytomyr, we will have to come back with children. Because my husband was taken to the army. We want to come back home, which we have no possibility of leaving. At this moment, a lot of people are coming back to Ukraine. In the areas where they drove Russians out of are much safer. And they're already coming back to their houses. But me and my husband live here. We've just been flying back and forth all the time. Sometimes in Kyiv, sometimes in Gdansk. I would like that to stay the same, here and there. Because I like Poland a lot. Refugees often dreamt of going back, and the fight for Ukraine continued. Many brave souls like Chris were involved in helping the soldiers in the field. This is no joke. We're going to a place where you can get shot. Sirens. This is the moment you remember you're not on vacation here. And it's not fucking far away. Look, look. 60 helmets, 180 emergency kits.
zestawów ratunkowych, 900 porcji.
900 portions of food rations.
Bojowe, racje żywnościowe. No jeszcze
And many other things. Some sweets, different things in general.
generalnie. Część przekazuje
Part of it we give to the Hersonian army,
część
part of it goes to the Kiev army.
wojsku lwowskiemu, część
Some we give along with the car to the Ukrainian who is not afraid of going to hotspots, like Sutomir. There was a huge story today. Good morning. To Ukraine, yes. Yes, Polish Red Cross, 2 cars. We have to go together in a convoy. I have a few friends from Ukraine. I used to go to school with the guys who were from Ukraine too. And simply when it all started, I assumed that you have to help in a way you were able to.
że należy pomóc jakoś w jakiś sposób, jaki można.
We work with foundations with Polish Red Cross and other really big international, even global foundations, which send us their goods.
Które przysyłają nam swoje towary.
People send us goods. Doctors send us their goods. My private life is now focused almost entirely on helping Ukraine, but I don't regret even one moment. I hope that it won't last long,
Długo nie będzie trwało.
that we will be able to deal with
Poradzimy
Vladimir,
sobie z Wołodyją.
and he will finally give up. We'll be there as long as he is there.
To teraz
And now the moment of transfer.
przekazania.
These packages are for you, all of them.
Wszystkie. 2 agregaty prądu.
2 power generators, food rations for military.
Racja żywnościowa dla wojska.
There are 2 vests and 2 helmets.
Zestaw
They're not plastic? No, no. These are from the company that produces for the military. Here are traction mats in case you get bogged. And the car is a 4x4. You switch it on with this button.
2,5 diesel.
2.5 diesel.
Ja będę za tydzień.
I'll be at the border in a week. I'll give you the registration, the permanent one, because I bought this car recently.
Auto niedawno kupiłem. To jest miesiąc.
Valid 1 month.
Polisa ubezpieczeniowa.
Insurance policy.
Ale to tak.
This one? Yes, this is my private number. I can be reached at this number all the time.
Auto przekazane.
Car is
Tutaj na razie
transferred.
parę słów
We'll
jeszcze
just
nagramy.
record a few words.
Będzie co się
What will
działo,
you
co
do with
będziemy
this
robić z
car?
tym samochodem?
Tym samochodem
We will save people. We will deliver needed things.
potrzebne rzeczy.
We will help at the front.
Pomagać na samym przodzie.
Super, także.
Great.
zaczyna
The
się
history
historia.
begins. Thank you.
Jebać Putina.
And fuck Putin.
Skurwysyna.
Motherfucker. The weeks were passing by since the invasion had begun, and it became clear that the Ukrainians would rather die than give away their country. Their life literally fell apart, but they were able to rise to the occasion. Thanks to help from many Western friends, the Ukrainian army fought bravely on battlefields, turning the Russian army into ash. Not less important than modern weapons was the fact that every soldier could calmly count on coming back to their family, who, thanks to all of us Poles, was safely waiting for them abroad. Was waiting, counting on good news from the field, from uncle, brother, husband, or daddy. Ukraine's glory has not yet died, nor her freedom. Upon us, my young brothers, fate shall yet smile.